Okay, I think I'm live here. Hold on, let me do something. All right, we got that ready. Hey guys, my name's Keith, and thanks for clicking on the video. I promise I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I wanted to put this video together to address the common questions and misinformation out there regarding mold and/or in the indoor air quality. This is my first video, so please bear with me while I probably waddle my way through this and talk over myself a couple times. So if you can do that, that would be cool. I don't know if you're familiar with webinars. I've watched a ton of them, and I hate when webinars run long. And so I promise to keep this short and sweet. We're going to do just a few slides, and then you can get back to me with questions if you like. So without further ado, let's rock this thing. So who am I? And why am I able to talk to you at this level regarding mold? Well, my name is Keith Harris, and I'm the president and founder of the company. And I founded the company in 2002 after 13 years in the environmental industry. I hold the designation of CHMM, which is Certified Hazardous Materials Manager. I'm a certified microbial investigator, certified mold remediator. I also was asked to help create industry guidelines and a certification exam for mold abatement. The book entitled IICRC S520 Standard and Reference Guide for Professional Mold Remediation was born and continues to be the most referenced guide in the industry today. So what that means is there was a book, about 30 of us got around a table. It took us a couple years to do. We came up with guidelines that all the companies follow today. And it looks something like this. And here's the book. And I'm one of the authors of it. But now that I'm looking at it on camera, it looks like it's backwards. So there we go. Okay, so next. What is the IICRC? This is the book that I was just talking about, the standards book. Here's what I put, some slides for you. This is just from the IICRC thanking me for being part of their standards. You can get all these PDFs on my website as well. Here's a certificate of recognition from the EPA for going through their tools for schools that I was affiliated with. Here's another press release, and this was from the U.S. Commerce Department for my company, which was kind of cool. And so why did I start this company? Well, I personally became increasingly frustrated with the amount of misinformation being distributed by the media organizations regarding toxic mold. You heard this word, toxic mold, and it drove me crazy. Combine this with stories of people and companies getting ripped off by disreputable individuals and companies with little or no knowledge of environmental protocols conducting dubious testing and cleanup activities. It was basically the wild, wild west for a while in this industry. I saw a true need to provide clients with an environmental service company focused on educating the client before potentially property and health hazards, providing clients with healthy living and working environments and a strategy for preventing potential problems should future circumstances arise. Basically, what that means is when I go through somebody's house or business, I'm also giving them advice on what to do to be proactive so they don't have to go through this problem again. That's what Environmental's goal is, to provide the best knowledge, integrity, service, and solutions in the industry to our clients. That's what I focus on is the long-term effect, not just a one and done and thank you, ma'am, or sir, for your service. I want you to keep calling me and ask me questions all the time. I get this all the time. I'm referring clients to me. And matter of fact, I have not advertised in probably 8 years. All my company is referral based. There are often times when people and properties are exposed to unhealthy situation as a result of a high concentration of airborne mold spores or colonization. But not every situation requires the need to conduct expensive testing or spending tens of thousands of dollars on comprehensive remediation. Meaning, if you have some mold, it can be definitely cleaned up, or you're smelling a must in the house. We can do that. You don't have to have people in the white suits coming in and charging your arm to do it. There's 100 ways to skin a cat, as they say, I also felt that if people were treated fairly and educated in what was taking place, The client can make some informed decisions based on the facts, both scientifically and applying a little bit of common sense to what was necessary. Identifying potential hazards with mold is a combination of art and science. It is truly not a cut and dry scenario like lead or asbestos, and no acceptable levels have been established and or regulated at this point. So, there's a lot of people out there that will come in there and give you scare tactics, and so you have to clean your house up to this acceptable standard, which is not true at all. All we're trying to do is get a baseline reading of outdoor versus indoor and see where you lie in that situation. So let's talk about what is mold, because this is the common question that people ask me all the time. Mold is part of the natural environment. Molds play an important part in nature by breaking down dead organic matter such as fallen leaves and dead trees. Indoors, mold growth should be avoided, okay? Molds reproduce by means of tiny spores. The spores are like seeds, but invisible to the naked eye, that flow through the air. Mold can begin growing indoors when spores land on moist surfaces. There are many types of mold, but all require moisture and a food source to keep thriving. So that, in a nutshell, is kind of what mold is. What I tell people is, look, a quarter of the Earth's atmosphere is made of mold, okay? You're never going to get rid of it. It's how we eat the leaves and all the organic matter outside, okay? A friend of mine, actually, we're going to get into that in a minute, but molds are living organisms, okay? So we know of 100,000 named species of mold right now. Then they all have a specific function to perform in our environment. Our philosophy is that by having a company focused on providing an ethical service with real solutions will generate goodwill and profitability. So let's talk about how mold grows, okay? You need three things to grow. That's what I was just talking about a second before I jumped over myself. Okay, so one, you need a source of mold. A quarter of the Earth's atmosphere is made of mold, so this means we're not getting rid of it anytime soon. This is how the Earth eats the leaves and such outside. Bottom line, mold is a good thing. It's just when it gets in your house in high quantities, the mold can become a problem, okay? A good friend of mine, Scott, once told me that if it was not for mold, we'd still be walking on dinosaur bones. I thought that was pretty clever. Okay, so number two thing that mold needs is it needs something organic to feed on, okay, i.e. wood, leather, or paper. And then it needs a moisture source. So now we're looking for humidity levels of 50-55% to sustain life and continue growing. So when I'm going out there looking at the whole situation, the whole scenario, what I'm trying to do is get rid of one of those, okay? So if you have a problem, if we can get rid of it, we're never getting rid of the mold. You're probably not going to get rid of the humidity depending on where you live. So then we're going to have to focus on the organic stuff of what it's going to be eating. Or we reverse that and we're always going to get rid of the humidity or the food source. So if we can get rid of the humidity, it starves it out. If we can get rid of the food source, it sort of starves it out. So then we have our problem hopefully under control. What are the more common symptoms that you might be dealing with an indoor air quality problem? Okay, runny, sneezy nose, coughing, wheezing, watery eyes, redness of the eyes, itchy eyes, skin irritation, rash, tired or run down for no apparent reason, musty odor, kind of like a dirty sock smell in the area. These are some common questions that people say, well, how do I know if I have it? Well, the only way to truly find out is to do some air samples. But most of the time, if I go into some house, I can identify that there is something there going on because it's right in front of your face. It's this little black mark and you're going, okay, well, there's your issue right there. Now let's find out what's feeding that, okay? So what steps to take if you're experiencing any of these issues? Okay, let's look at a couple problems. Try to identify any past water leaks or losses. This is your homework. Before you call somebody, some consultant out there, try to identify, well, how did this get here? Where is the water? We're always looking for the water source, okay? Was it a leak? Was it a toilet overflow? Did the kids spill some of their bucket in the carpet? Is it in the bathroom? What's going on? Is it a leaky pipe under the kitchen sink? This is your homework to do, and this will help out a bit. For instance, if you smell a musty odor in your bathroom, where could the moisture be coming from? Next to the shower, under the bathroom sinks. I just touched on that. Or I had a water loss from my water heater and it spread on the carpet. My toilet overflowed about a month ago and I thought I caught it. These are the types of issues that you need to be thinking about. Or I have no idea, I just smell something weird and I have to keep taking my kids or myself to the doctor. I get this caught quite a bit is there's just a weird random smell in my house and it smells like an indoor air quality issue or a sick building kind of, that musty kind of dirty sock smell. It's what I always tell people. Does it smell like a dirty sock or a towel that's been wet, left in the laundry? That's usually pretty much a dead giveaway of you have something kind of going on, right? So the big question is, well, now that I've identified it, what do I do? Because we don't know what to do. We've never had to deal with this before. Hopefully this will help. So at this point, you're probably ready to hire an indoor air quality consultant, okay? $1 million question, okay, how do I pick one? Well, here's the best advice that I can give you. I would go to iaqa.org in search of a pro. Now, I want to be super clear on this. I'm not making any money from sending people to the site, okay? IAQA is a pretty active in the indoor air quality world, and it makes sure people have a pretty good understanding of indoor air quality in order to pass the exam. However, and this is a big however, I cannot guarantee whoever you hire from the IAQAs will be good, but at least it's a pretty good place to start, okay? What not to do. These will get you in trouble. Now, this is my own personal opinion of being in this business since 2002. I would not hire a home inspector to conduct an indoor air quality or mold inspection unless they have some kind of IAQA training. It's very easy for someone to take samples within your home, but it's a whole different story interpreting the data and providing a cost-effective solution moving forward. I mean, anyone can take a machine, put a little cassette on there and push a button, right? But it's the data that we collect and the strategic areas that we collect it in that will determine the outcome and provide what they call a protocol for moving forward, what we should do next, okay? Big no-no here. Do not hire a remediation contractor to do the initial assessment. This is a big no-no. People think they smell mold, and the first thing they do is they Google it, oh, I need a remediation guy, I need a mold remediation, right? Well, the contractor comes out and he says, okay, I see you have a little black spot there, we're gonna need to take down this wall. Big ripoff, big ripoff, okay? First of all, you need to have a consultant come out and be a third party from these contractors, because all they want to do at the end of the day, and I'm not bashing remediation contractors in any way, shape, or form. I have seen this hundreds of times out there where you get these guys that come in and go, this is your problem, when all it could have been was just wipe it down. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I was dealing with an issue where a lady was very concerned. She thought she was getting very sick. I went into her home. She had a remediation contractor previously there before I got there, like 2 days before or something. So she was really freaked out. She heard about me and called me. And I went out there. She had mold around her windows, okay? They were metal windows. This was a condensation issue. It wasn't anything else. And what happened is this remediator came in and said that they had to take down the whole entire wall and replace her windows and everything. Because remember, they're not only going to do the rip out, but a lot of them will do the rebuild too. So now this little area that I told her to get a disinfectant solution and clean it up with a Brillo pad or something, just wipe it up. It's a house cleaning issue, for what, $9 to buy a bottle of some kind of disinfectant for and these guys wanted to charge her 9, 10, 12, 15 grand. It's insane. So let's moving forward now. So let's say remediation is in process, okay? You definitely have some work that needs to be done. You pull the couch out, the whole wall's black, something's going on, okay? By the way, remediation, it's a fancy word for cleanup, okay? If it's deemed necessary, please hear me on this. do not let the remediation contractor do his own clearance sampling. Let me explain. Okay. So how this industry works is you should get a consultant in there to find and define what the problem is or could be. If it is a problem and they have to take it to step 2 where remediation is necessary, you want to work with that consultant or not with that consultant, find a reputable remediation company and have them come out and bid the work and do it. Okay, if you get along with them, the price is great, it works, have them do the actual remediation. Now, this is the important part. After the remediation is done, you need to have a third party, meaning somebody that is not affiliated with that company. It could be, and generally it is, the initial inspector that came out, the consultant that came out that found the problem, put the protocol together for these remediation guys to follow. But you want to have them back in to run some more samples to make sure that the mold is gone, okay? Don't let the remediation guys hire their own consultant, because it's like, who's guarding the hen house, right? The fox isn't. And they're going to go in there, they're going to do their own sampling, and of course they're going to pass their work, and that's what you're looking for. That's what you need, is a clearance sample to say, hey, we had a problem, we acted on it, everything was taken care of, this third party came in, checked their work, and everything's good to go. Now, on my jobs, if I'm the clearance, if I get called in to do clearance, if I take samples and I go into a containment and the mold is still there or it doesn't pass for some reason, I make these remediation guys go back in there and re-clean it, and then call me when they re-clean it. Then I'll go back out and test again. But this time, and I tell all my clients this, I make the remediation company pay my bill, okay? You got to remember that, because these guys will not, some of these guys will purposely leave something there and go, oh, okay, we'll go back. And guess what? They're rebilling you. They don't care how many times they fail this. You're freaked out because you want to get back into your kitchen that's been ripped apart. And all these guys are doing is raising your bill, right? And then they don't care how long it takes for them to reach clearance to do the job right, because you're getting billed for it, which is not fair. Now, if I hit them with my bill after the first time, it gives them a little incentive to do the work properly. And I tell all my clients that, and it's worked out pretty well. So, in conclusion, I hope this has been helpful and will at a minimum guide you down the right path. If you have any questions, please click the link on the right and schedule a free consultation call with me, or you can visit our website at environmentalmoldllc.com. Thanks again for your time. And again, I don't know where the link's going to be. It might be down here, it might be that way. You should see it right around here somewhere. So I hope this was good. I told you to keep it short and sweet. I went through this pretty fast. So if you are watching this and you have some more questions, schedule time with me. I'm more than happy to talk to you for 15 minutes and see what problems you have. And if that's not, I guess that's about it. So, you know what? I didn't stumble on myself that many times. I did quite a bit, but I don't know. Maybe the next one will be better. All right, guys. Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed this, and it brought a little clarity to if you have an indoor air quality problem. Feel free to call me anytime. Thanks. And that's it.